Chicken McNuggets. Man, you can't tell me you're not a fan. And dipping sauce-wise, you barbecue? Ketchup, maybe? Or just plain? Me, I'm a honey mustard guy. But the question is, how many can you eat? Well, today's guest has a number, and we will find that out a little later. But first, I want to get over some information over your way. How often do you sleep good at night? No, I'm talking a really good night's sleep. For me, when I'm looking for a little help, put me down at night, CBD oil from Liv Rishi. He's been a supporter from the show from the start, and I use a tincture oil. Been using it for years. Jump over to livrishi.com. They'll get you hooked up, and the immediate effect is a good night's sleep. But over long-term and consistent use, the benefits are endless. Again, I've been using it for years, and I can't even... It'd be a whole show to tell you what I benefit from it. So go over there, livrishi.com, use a code word TABLE, get hooked up with a very generous discount. I can't tell you what it is on the air, but you will be pleasantly surprised. Second of all, looking for some love to build up my YouTube channel. So I'm not sure where you're listening to this show now, but if you could jump over to Walt's Kitchen Table on YouTube, underneath my smiling mug, there's a big red word that says subscribe. If you could click that, I'd much appreciate it. And then to find out everywhere else that the show is available, you could go to my website, Walt's Kitchen Table, and right there on the front page, scroll down and direct links to everywhere it's available. Always appreciate the support. Subscribe, share, and like. Now, on to the show. Welcome to Walt's Kitchen Table, where I feature captivating stories from fascinating people. Man, Todd and I just have a great time today, and we're all over the place as usual. Some of the things we talk about, real Italian cooking, Ron Swanson, athletes, vegans, cults, and of course, Chicken McNuggets. And his story about Jordan Belfort, the real Wolf of Wall Street, is amazing. So let's get to it. But you gotta get pretty close. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
There you go.
My sultry voice here.
Oh, Jesus. No, I had to get that arm, big old fucking lug Tommy. He sat at this thing like mine. Mm-hmm. He was all hunched over, and I was just like, and then somebody small like
here
you.
We go.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah,
dude, that's fucking creepy. God, I can't even look at you, dude. So
is this mine?
What is it?
Or is that both of us? That's just me.
No, it's both of us.
Okay, you're on this side. All right,
I'm on the top. You're on the bottom.
Yeah.
But it's mostly done.
Yeah,
here.
Just so I know if I'm talking.
Don't even
like
worry.
What if I'm talking back here?
Just keep up on it like
up.
that. Oh, jeez. If you go wooka wooka, I'm fucking shutting this down.
No, I was testing the popper here.
No, that's what this thing's for. So thanks for coming down, man.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped.
You're Montclair resident for how long?
Former Montclair resident now.
Oh, your new house is not... I thought your new house...
Yeah, we moved in June,
right.
man. We moved in June. Yeah,
shit.
But I was here from 2012. July 2012, we moved in. And I just left... Or no, I'm sorry. That's when I moved in with my wife here. I moved into town in 2006.
From where? Have you always been in New Jersey?
Yeah. I grew up in West Milford, about 45 minutes north. Went to Seton Hall, so I lived in South Orange for 4 years. And then after we graduated, me and my buddies from home moved to Montclair. I was here till 2019, June of 2019. So that's like, what is that, 13 years, 12 years, 13 years?
Nice.
I miss it.
Yeah, it's nice, dude. I like living here.
And I miss, it was apartment living too, versus now we're like really in the burbs with a house and I got to drive everywhere.
Oh, man.
It's good. We got the space for the kids and, we have a 4-bedroom place now. It's nice. All that stuff is good. It's
White
all
picket
good.
Fence and all that?
Yeah. But, You know, I miss being able to just walk out the door and having all of what Montclair has to offer and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
dude, I walk out my door in any direction, woods, mountains, New York City, the beach, just bam, right there.
Yeah. So.
And anything and everything you want delivered too. That's what's really nice.
Yeah. Well, in today's world, man, I feel like the last like 6 months has just been an explosion of like delivery businesses where like you get anything you want. Like we stopped grocery shopping now.
You get it all delivered?
Yeah.
And they say diabetes is not on the rise.
Yeah, man. Instacart.
That's what it's called?
Yeah.
Instacart?
Yep.
So is it like do they go to any grocery store so you can say there's a ShopRite down and I like ShopRite?
Yep.
And then you give them a list. So you got like some stranger picking out your tomatoes?
Yeah, but what's cool is that with the produce stuff, sometimes we'll let them do it, sometimes we'll make the trip for that. But what's cool is that in the app, they text you. So if they're at the store and like you wanted some, you know, you asked for a specific brand or whatever, they'll text you back and say, "Hey, we're in the store. That size wasn't here or that brand wasn't, but this is here instead." You know, so you actually talk to them while they're doing it. You know, so and they send they'll send a picture of the stuff and whatever. But,
I do that. My wife gets that from me because she'll send me with a list. I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And I take a picture and she'll say yes or no.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, with like, dude, second kid is no joke. Like,
well, you're man to man now.
Exactly. That's exactly right, man. So
you got to go have another one so you can just go. What do they call it? Zone.
Yeah. They'll be zone on us.
Yeah. Right. How old's your second?
Second one was born in July 2nd. So we moved at the end of June. I forget the date, like June 20 something, and
into your house.
Yeah, and then. You know, literally unpacked the last box, laid in bed, and my wife said, "All right, time to go to hospital."
No,
and that was it.
That close, huh?
Yeah, so it was less than 2 weeks, I think. I don't recommend that to anybody.
Yeah, woo, and running your own business.
Yeah, 3 businesses, man. So, but anywhere I can find convenience and buy back time, like the Instacart thing, anything that cuts time, I'm all about it. So I'm like, it was like. I'm told, I'm not the one who bought it, but my wife said it was like $99 for the year and like a couple bucks
for delivery or something
per trip. Yeah. So
I wonder if they got a deal with like kickback or something from the store.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, like some kind of like affiliate or.
Now the one that we get delivered is boxed.
Yep.
We get a lot of our produce.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Meat.
Yeah.
And frozen fruit. Because we go through a lot of frozen fruit with like shakes and stuff.
Yeah. With the meat stuff, have you tried? Shit, what's it called? There's a meat subscription, Butcher Box.
Oh, I heard about that.
Have you
tried it?
I haven't tried it yet. My wife didn't get it. She's like, we don't need that much meat.
Oh, we do. I go through about 8 pounds of chicken a week.
Holy shit!
That's what I consume.
That's why you're shredded like that, and I'm puny. That's why I gotta tell my
well,
wife.
Carbs,
if you want me to look like a god like Walt here, I need
protein,
more meat.
Baby, protein. Carbs and protein. That's my diet.
Yeah,
it's all good. But no, we look at food, as you should, I believe, as part of our medical expenses.
Yeah.
So
that's a great context for it.
So we watch what we eat.
Yeah.
We try to buy the best ingredients possible. Mm-hmm. You know, if I get kind of cheap chicken.
Yeah. There's a difference.
No, it just doesn't work anymore.
I went with my family 10 years ago now, maybe. We went to Italy for like 10 days. And when we were eating, we kind of splurged. It was my uncle's 50th birthday, and we had like a home chef, and it was this like old Italian lady came, and so every night she came over and cooked like homemade little. Yeah, dude, it was sick. It was sick. And like the first chicken meal that she made, I ate it and I was like, this tastes kind of funny. And I realized it's because this is what chicken's supposed to taste like.
Yeah.
And we don't, at the time, there's better options now, I think, but still it's I was like, oh, this is what it's supposed to taste like.
Yeah, I can tell the difference. And my wife loves to cook.
Yeah.
And she's crazy talented at it. So, and I love to eat.
Yeah.
So I just let her do her thing. I carry the groceries, man.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, so a couple things that are interesting to unpack in this, right? So looking at food as a medical expense, right? And loving to eat and loving to cook, and I'm down with all that. But then there's the people who look at like food is fuel, that's it. And then there's people like myself who are like, I like to indulge in food as an experience of eating, and it's wired from when we're children for sure about like what I like to eat and what I don't like to eat or whatever, or like what I'm used to. But like, man, I hate this, but I also love it at the same time. That like to me, there's nothing like just crushing a box of Cheez-Its with a can of soda.
Oh, Joe.
And it's so bad for you.
Yeah, yo, absolutely. No.
And I'm like why? Like, this is just the wiring of my brain right now. Can I change that? Or like, there's no alternative. I could eat for an hour of just healthy food, like shoving in my mouth. And when I'm done, I'm like, I still need like a cheeseburger or like whatever. Like, you know.
Do you think so you're saying you think that's wired from when we were little?
I don't know. I don't know if it's, I mean, it definitely is in one way or another. Like either like, especially I was born in 84. So I think I haven't like looked back to study the years, but I think around that time was like microwaves came out. There was a lot more frozen food. And so like, and my dad was in sales, so he was gone like, 4 nights a week. So it was like me and my mom. And
like ready-made meals. So now you're getting into all the preservatives and shit like that.
And like, dude, I could eat an unlimited amount of chicken nuggets. And when I tell you unlimited, I mean like there's no limit. I could do it nonstop forever. The only thing that would beat me in a chicken nugget contest is time, right? Like if you say how many chicken nuggets can you eat, like I could eat an infinite amount. It's just in what time period
are we talking? If there was a conveyor belt going by you,
I could just do it.
And you just pick one up
all day long.
No shit.
All day long.
You ever see how those are made?
Yeah, doesn't faze me. Doesn't faze me. Doesn't faze me. Well, let me tell you this. So when there was like a video a few years back of like the pink goop coming out of the machines. Yeah, it looks. It has
right? Like that tube,
and,
right?
And for some reason at the time, I didn't really think about it as ground chicken. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh my god, that's disgusting, man! That's really nom nom nom." And I'm just still eating. I'm
man,
like,
who the fuck?
I don't care. I don't care. I'm like, man, that really looks gross. Like that's food. I'm like, but I don't know. It tastes good. I can't stop. But then when I realized, I was like, actually, that's ground chicken. It does look kind of funny, but
it's just all the parts and shit. All thrown in there.
So I'm like. No, like it doesn't faze me. Like I know, there's a lot of people, especially with all these Netflix documentaries and stuff. I have friends that are like, oh, I'm vegan now. And they go vegan for a little while because they saw one of these.
So get on that
they saw one of these. All these documentaries because they're like, man, I saw how they did this and that. I watched that stuff and I'm like,
okay,
yep,
that's cool.
Yep.
Well, I was at this barbecue over the summer, and there's probably 15, 20 people there, right? Mm-hmm. There's this one guy there who's been a vegan his whole life. Mm-hmm. And we all stood together to take a picture. And you're like, dude, you need some protein, bro. But the thing is, there's so much stuff in meat that you can't get anywhere else. Yeah. I mean, we could go on and on about that. But
well, and you know what I like? Did you used to watch that show Parks and Rec?
Oh, my fucking way. No.
Oh man!
Show,
Ron Swanson is like this. He's like the man's man, America's guy, and all that stuff. And then Rob Lowe comes in, and he's this like health freak, vegan, all this.
I just ran 26 miles to see you.
Like whatever. And so he gets on. I forget what the scenario is. Ron goes over to his house for dinner because they're having quote unquote steaks, right? And so Ron goes out and he pops open the grill all excited, and he's like, "Where's the fucking steaks?" And he's like, "Oh, well, these are mushroom steaks." And they're like some bullshit like that, right?
Yeah.
And so he's like, he gets sick over it, and he's like, "There's no way this could ever compete, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have a cook-off. I'll make a beef burger. You make whatever you want, and we'll have a taste test judges and all that stuff." And so they go through all, everybody comes to the house, and then Rob Lowe goes first, and he says, "I have this beautiful vegan, blah, blah, blah." And he dressed it up, all this shit, right? And everybody takes a bite, and they're like, "Wow, this actually, this is really good. I can't believe it, And so Ron comes over, and he says, "Take a bite of this." And
but it's not dressed up or nothing. It's just a chunk of meat.
And they take a bite, they go, "Oh, yeah, this is way better. This is way better." And he's like, "This is an unseasoned beef patty on a roll."
That is awesome, dude. Well, there's just no comparison.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what is it? Omnivores?
Yeah.
We both.
Eat both.
Yeah. And what I always say too is, humans are predators. Mm-hmm. We have canine teeth.
Yep, we got the teeth.
And our eyes are set close together like a predator. They're not far apart like a cow. Mm-hmm. We're meant to eat fucking meat.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
But, and then going back to the documentaries, I always make the comment, that's the view of the director.
True. Yep.
That's not them. That's one dude or one lady saying, this is what I think.
Yep.
Okay, so what in the grand scheme of things, where does that fall?
Right.
It's not even a blip on the screen.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
But people see that and go crazy over it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm in marketing, been in marketing a long time, and it's all about, like, you know, when you can get attention and use your media to influence people's decisions, that's what it is. And if it's it's one person who, like you said, the director puts this together, they have a bias or unbiased opinion. Everybody's got biases one way or another, even if you try to not be.
No.
But most of the time, those kind of things are put together with a bias intent.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yep.
And then, for good or bad, that they do their work to get into a Netflix distribution channel or out to whatever, and on the internet just goes viral. And, one person's view, putting together reasons to believe his personal biases, reaches millions of people. That creates a cultural conversation, and that's how the world works.
Sounds like a religion.
Yeah.
That's how religion starts,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, man. Dude, I'm super fascinated studying cults and cult leaders.
Oh, my God.
And how they do
so
things.
if you listen to podcasts, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think we talked about it last podcast on the left.
No, I don't think
Dude,
so.
you need to, if you like cult leaders, go in there.
Well, let's put a whole pin in it. I don't like cult leaders.
Well, I'm the same way. I like listening, like, it's just fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, one time, there was a group of us who had a conversation. They're like, if you could pick anybody present or in the past who was an influencer, you could sit for like half an hour and talk to, who would you pick? And I looked right at him. I go, Hitler. And they're like, oh, my God. No, think about it.
Yeah.
Think about how that dude influenced people.
Crazy.
Sure, was he a fucking psychopath and evil? Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
But look how he influenced people.
And look, I hate Hitler as much as the next guy, but Hitler did not believe he was evil.
Very good point. Yep.
He had the conviction in his beliefs
he was doing it right,
to learn all this mind control stuff and take advantage of it. And he saw, they had all that kind of propaganda stuff, and and he did exactly, he's someone who had massive influence over people, and unfortunately, he used it for evil.
Well, too, and then you can look at the architectural and some of the stuff that they designed and built. Mm-hmm. That was way ahead of their time.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Whew. But talking about influence, that's just, people just jump on it, but like, that guy, but look at it
right
in a different light.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. It's you got to look at the sources and the context and the frames and all that stuff. But you're right. I mean, to talk to a guy like that and say, to get a truthful conversation, say, how did you learn to control people like that?
Absolutely. No, see, those are the kind of questions I would ask. And just like maybe listen to him for a minute, and I bet you he just plows his personalities, But like, where did you, when you were young, or was there a certain situation that you're like, if I do this, they'll do what I say?
Yeah.
That's what I...
Yeah, like, how did you learn the cause and effect of these things? And,
right.
And, to do it at a scale like
that
this.
kind of scale.
Right.
No, you got, like, going back to cult leaders, because technically he's a cult leader, right? To that scale, you got cult leaders, you're like, what's his name? Jim Jones?
Yeah.
What's that, like 70 people or something? And then what's the other guy, like in the 70s?
Manson?
No. With the comet.
Oh, yeah.
Hellbot comet or whatever.
Yeah.
That was like 40 people.
Yeah.
Like, how do you convince 40 people to drink Kool-Aid and you're dying?
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
Once you drink it, you're all done.
Dude, I mean, it's the same shit with the terrorists, right? It's because these people truly believe, one, that when they die, they're going to get, 100 virgins, whatever
God,
it is.
Who the fuck would want that?
But whatever. They
Right.
believe that like the next step in my journey is I'm going to get all these things. They truly believe that's the case, and they think again like they think they're fighting for a just cause, and by sacrificing themselves they get to do this. So how do you convince people to believe something that to everyone outside of that bubble
It's wrong.
looks insane?
Right.
Like these people are nuts.
Right. Going back to what you said too, Hitler didn't think he was insane.
Right.
He thought he was right.
Right.
We'd assume.
Right.
But
Right.
he might have known everything he was going. He's like, this
Yeah.
is fucking crazy. I'm
Yeah.
just going to ride this train.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Or maybe one day he woke up. He's like, "Holy shit, this really went off the rails."
Wow, I didn't expect it to go this way. Might as well go with it. But like you said, though, you take like Jim's going back to what I like about the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
One, they make humor out of it,
Yeah.
not out of like
Yeah. Not out of the suffering.
they call
or whatever,
like Jim
but-
Jones a fucking maniac.
Right.
They
Yeah.
do that. But they look at his, we'll use his if I can remember right, but they do this with everybody. They do like a deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
So they start talking about the guy when he was 12. Okay, how did he
Yeah.
get to this point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So that's interesting to me. And of
Yeah.
course, there's a shit ton of humor in it,
Right.
which is great for me
Right.
too. But these guys, they just do a ton of research.
Yeah,
and
that's
if you
cool.
like that kind of
Yeah,
stuff, it's-
definitely. While we're talking, I gotta add this in. What is it? The last podcast on the left?
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can go through, and they do multiple episodes. Like with Jim Jones, they had like 6 episodes. With Rasputin, you know who Rasputin is? The guy, Russia.
Yeah, my history's not great, but it's familiar.
Yeah,
name
they
for
have
sure.
like 7 episodes of him. What's the dude that started Mormonism? Something
yeah.
Smith.
Yeah.
they have
John
like-
Smith, I think the guy's name. No,
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. Smith, I knew it was.
probably wasn't his real
to-
name.
You know
Well, it's
what?
like the same
well,
thing.
he was a total con artist.
Yeah. Well,
and he's fucking started religion.
dude. And what's the other Scientology?
Oh, that's
Yo, this guy
Co-
was a
complete crazy-
novelist.
Yeah.
Like he's writing fiction books.
Yeah.
And says like, man, having a religion is a great tax break. The dude
I'm gonna-
goes and then he
he's-
just writes a
yeah.
religious book and like people
Yeah,
believe
he's
it.
on record saying,
Right.
I'm going to start it because that's
Yeah.
a good way to make money.
Yeah, and there's people buy into this shit, man. They're nuts. People that, and it just goes to show. I forget who says it, but like people are just looking to be led, man.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Most
But,
people, I should say.
yeah. And the other thing, too, is it's like being part of something,
Yeah.
right? So, like, we played in a basketball league,
Yep.
right? Same exact thing. What you're doing is you're inserting yourself into something bigger than you.
Yeah.
A cult, a basketball league, a volleyball league. I like to play cards,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
So-
Well, so we had Propelify a couple weeks ago, which is this big tech innovation business conference that I help run, and we had it's an outdoor festival, and
Wasn't Hoboken?
yeah.
Same place as it has been?
So
Right at the pier there?
yeah, so this was
Okay.
year 4, and it was on the pier. Year 1 was on the pier. Year 2 and 3 we had on the waterfront in front of the W there. So
That's right. Yeah, I was
this
on the
year,
waterfront.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this year was back on the pier, which is a field. It was cold and rainy, muddy. Right. We had everything was tented. All the areas were tented. So if you were at a stage watching the speakers, you're under a tent. If you were at the innovation row checking stuff out, you're under a tent. But to get in between those places, you did have to walk outside.
Okay.
But we had about a little over 8,000 people registered, and obviously we start getting nervous. Like, fuck, this weather is going to really
crush everybody's
It's going to
spirit
suck.
and-
Like
yeah.
you know. So I have a very close relationship with our 20,000 subscribers, where from day one when I got involved, emails came from Todd at Propelify. Todd at Propelify.com was the email address. Like, I'm writing emails like conversational, like, yo, Walt, I'm so pumped for Thursday. Can't wait to see you there. Like, I'm writing messages like I'm sending it to an individual person who's
Yeah.
a friend of mine on the other end, right? And I've been doing that for years now. And so we had 8,000 people registered. Last year we had similar weather, and we had about half the people show up that registered. So about 50, maybe a little less than that show up. This year we had about 8,000 people registered, and we think a little under 6,000 people show up.
Damn.
And
In the rain.
Yeah, in the rain, mud, cold. And so how did that happen, right? And it's about building this relationship with people and creating a community. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because what you just said, being a part of something bigger than yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and hopefully, I'm using it for good here, right? Like, you know, I'm trying to
Todd,
help the innovators of the world here turn their ideas into reality. But when I got choked up on stage, and I'll probably get choked up as I'm talking about it now, because my speech presentation, whatever, at the event was about how to humanize your brand to build an engaged audience,
Sure,
or to build an engaged community or whatever. And so as I went on stage, I think it was because the topic aligned with the actual event. And when I stood there and I looked at this packed tent of people, and I looked out and see all the other packed tents around the thing, and I had been walking around seeing everybody, talking to everybody all day. And I stood on stage and I said, like, all right, I'm here to talk about how to humanize your brand so you can build an engaged community. And let me tell you why you want to do something like that. And that's when I kind of looked out. I'm getting choked up now, but I'm like, look left and right here at the thousands of people that have come out in the cold and rain to be a part of this. And it's because we have created something together. Yes, us as a very small organization and scrappy group of entrepreneurs that got together to put this thing, to make it happen. And then all of you as a community. And it's because we all have this belief in something larger than ourselves that when we come together, it's a force multiplier, you know, and that we're moving people forward faster. Like, and that's, you know, to be on the positive side of those things and doing things that are bigger than yourself. Like, there's just a magnetism to it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's on a smaller, well, I guess on maybe scale that you saw yourself experienced, or like a CEO or a runner of a company that has 200 employees, knows everybody's name, knows everybody's family.
Yep.
You know, to have that connection is just amazing.
Yeah. Super important.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it's like, how do you build a business? Fucking handshake at a time. Dude, right?
Yep.
And two, with this, the episodes that I have now recorded and it, you know, in the tank and all that, it's here like this.
Yep.
And
yeah, I love it. I love that we're sitting here. Because I did a podcast earlier today. I got 2 scheduled tomorrow. It's all
Skype?
online. Yeah, it's all Skype and
I don't know.
all
That
stuff.
just loses a little bit of.
Now, look, I'm talking to people all over the country, though, so this is obviously a little different. But
Yeah. But I look at it, and that's probably on a business.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I like it, the human element.
Yeah.
Right? You can't take away a human element.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of cool. What's traveling for holidays? Now it's got that big fancy house.
Yeah, you know, we had our family to our small apartment for years once we got together and had our first kid, and so now that we have the house, you know, we'll have everybody over there and have a little more space. So
Now you have a lot of family around here.
I guess it depends how you know what a lot is, a dozen or so.
I guess
so
it's
pretty
relative,
decent.
right?
Yeah, like I'm an only child, so I grew up. You know, I grew up obviously by myself, but then my immediate, like my mom's brothers and sisters and their whole family, they would always come to our house for Christmas. So now we have my family comes, my uncle, my parents, my cousins, you know, our kids, and then we've been in the morning. We'll go to my wife's mother's. She hosts that side of the family, which is like my sister-in-law has 4 kids. So that's like 100 people in over there.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, man.
So
God bless her.
It's basically National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, pretty much.
Are you Cousin Eddie?
Yeah.
Shitter's full, dude. Is that not the fucking greatest Christmas movie
it's so
ever?
good. And it's funny you say that because we you know, we got the fall stuff out now for the kids, and with the newborn. We got this like wool hat that she has, and it's like one of the with the ears hanging down, and that's what my wife's been saying is she looks like Cousin Eddie.
Yeah, don't kiss her yet.
Yeah.
She has a fungus who haven't identified. I could quote that whole movie.
Oh,
We had a family tradition for years, back when we had VHS.
Yeah,
You know, my family and I would all pile in my mom's house, my mom and dad's house, and pop that in and watch it.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody could quote the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's just a classic movie, man.
Yeah, it's great. That's the great stuff, the traditions and stuff I love doing. What we do, what I started doing is, and I stole this a little bit from my dad, but we like to play games and gamble and all that.
Like what kind of games though? Like dice and craps and.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
So
you all out in the garage, like
well,
you move the car.
We're big LCR fans.
Oh, left, right, center. Love it.
Yep.
So how big of stakes do you get?
Well, we start off with like $1 buy-in. And then it's like $3, $5, $10, and then depending how much drinking is going on, we've had nights where it's $20 buy-in and everything. So we have a good time with that stuff. And but what I like to do is, and then we do other stuff like we'll do grab bags and
like white elephant.
Yeah,
and
white
all
elephant stuff. And
those are awesome.
But what I do is I don't tell anybody that we're doing it. And so I've done it a couple of ways every year where there's sometimes I'll go to the dollar store, spend $150.
Just buy a bunch of
just
shit.
a bunch of stupid shit, right?
Yeah.
And or like Five Below or Big Lots, get stuff
course,
like. And then we'll do that, and we do like the Chinese auction or whatever you're supposed to call them these days, and I put all those prizes, and like it's stupid shit everybody probably throws out the next day. It doesn't matter though, because it's about like we're having fun reading off ticket numbers and having a good time.
Fuck, I don't want this.
Right.
I'm going to take that instead and trade it and all that.
Yeah. And it's just going through, and it's like you got when I was a little kid and all my cousins like had like real presents obviously from like the adults and everything, but then as we grew up and we've had this gap until we have a 3-year-old now, but the gap of like, all right, well, like it's kind of weird, you don't have to get me presents, right? Like I'm an adult at this point, and
right.
So it was like, okay, well, let's set this, $20 gift for the white elephant stuff. And then, so in 1 year I just started I'm like, this is cool, but it only lasted like 20 minutes because not a lot of gift giving. I'm like, I'm just going to start buying a ton of stupid shit that everybody gets to open and throw at each other and do whatever.
Yep.
And we have this tradition as far back as I can remember of it's the fish. And it's a ceramic fit wall decoration.
Oh shit! And you wrap it and it passes along.
Yeah.
Oh,
and this goes back before. I don't know if it was before I was born or not, but before I was 5 years old, definitely. Like as far as I can remember, and it came. It started as a real gift that somebody got.
That was like,
and it was like
sincere gift.
Yeah, like a genuine gift, right? And like I guess it got made fun of at the time, like whatever it was. But then like the next year shows up,
regift it,
next year, and so and everybody always forgets who got it the previous year. So then everybody's trying to play the game of like when we do like a Secret Santa or whatever, if it comes in, and we'll you always throw in like $20 of lottery tickets or something.
Yeah, of course,
but that's always and when that gets open, it blows. Everybody
Everything
blows up, and it's like
It's not one of those Phil the talking fish.
No.
It's probably before that, huh?
Yeah. They didn't have animatronics at the time of this thing coming out. It's just like a ugly ass looking. Like, so you'd see it like a garage sale if like 100-year-old lady died now.
Yeah. How big is it?
If the box is like a picture frame, and I think there's actually like 2 or 3 of them in there.
Oh, it's like a shadow box
it's never been opened. No one's ever opened it. It's still in the box.
It's still in the.
It's still in. I should.
You gotta get a picture. No, you gotta get a picture.
This thing might be worth something.
Yeah, maybe. Be worth like $25. You gotta give me a picture of it. We'll post it with this.
Yeah, man.
Because that's fun. Dude.
I gotta find out. Hopefully, it surfaces this year. I don't know who's got it.
7-Eleven. I saw last year. Did you see their white elephant display?
No.
So they have these crazy, stupid gifts.
Yeah.
And they range from like $3 to $20.
Uh-huh.
And they're wrapped. Uh-huh. But the little card on the outside has a picture of what's inside.
Okay.
So you get $5. You rip the card off. Now.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's smart thinking, man.
Yeah. That's good.
Smart thinking.
Thinking about marketing.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm like, I'll walk in there and spend like $40 and be like, now I can go to like 7 places and be like, all good. Just, here you go. I forgot what's in here, but fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you. So, all right. This brings up an interesting thing. So we're in Target, something like that the other day this weekend with our daughter.
Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Do you see that post about Target?
No.
I don't want to butcher it. I'm just going to read it real quick. It's funnier than shit. I had to post it. Hang on. Where the fuck did it go? Yeah. It said something like, "I wore a red shirt to Target. Now I'm covering for Karen on Sunday."
That's funny. That's great.
Fuck. It's like wearing an orange shirt to Home Depot, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey, can you tell me where the plumbing is?
So we're there, and my 3-year-old wants to go to the toy section, and so we take her over there, and we told her she could have something under $5, which is hard to find. And we find, and they got these toys. They're like these. They're plastic balls that open up, and they have a squishy toy inside it. And they got Lion King, Paw Patrol, Little
like
Mermaid,
squishy, like a sponge, like a.
They're like squishy plastic, like a stress ball almost.
Okay.
Whatever, but the ball. We're talking about 3-year-old kids that buy these things.
Right.
I mean, we buy them for the kids.
Right.
But you don't know what's inside. So you said like on the card, the outside card, you know what's wrapped in the thing.
Right.
This is a mystery ball that I had to buy for a 3-year-old. Now, so she thinks she's like, I want the Lion King one because I want Nala. I want Nala. Oh, yes, I got my Nala toy. So now we're walking out to the register, and she's all excited. I'm getting my Nala. I'm like, hey, it might not be that. It could be anything. So now you got these kids like we get in the car. She opens it up. It's Scar, the fucking bad guy. Why the fuck does anybody want that one? So now you got these kids excited about this Lion King toy they're buying.
And they get Scar.
And they fucking get Scar.
A 3-year-old girl gets Scar.
Bullshit.
Well, no, it's marketing.
Now I got to go back and buy another one. Yeah. They're all probably all Scar. And then you can keep fucking buying them.
That would be perfect marketing, right? I saw a thing on social media. The guy that did the voice of the young Simba, is that the original?
Yeah.
He turned down $2 million in exchange for royalty checks.
Yeah, smart
dude, right
dude.
there. He's still collecting.
Yeah, man.
And he will be collecting.
I think, didn't the original Star Wars actors do the same thing?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Don't hold me to it, but I think they might have. Or somebody from back then did.
Something big like that?
Yeah.
We just bought tickets to, wife works at NJ Pack.
Yep.
And we're getting tickets to where they show the movie. And, everything's in there, but they take the score out, and then that's done live by the orchestra.
Oh, that's cool.
Fuck yeah, right? I'm super excited about that.
What movie?
Star Wars.
Oh, shit.
The original Star Wars.
That's cool.
Right?
That's cool.
Excited about that.
That's real cool.
And you ever hear the story with Harrison Ford?
No, I don't know.
He wasn't supposed to be in Star Wars.
No shit.
He was like, what do they call it? Like a reader?
Huh.
Like he was the dude going through. And they were so excited about him. They're like, hey, why don't you jump in here?
Wow. Boom. Holy shit.
Yeah, right? Like he didn't go out for it or anything like that. He was a struggling actor. And
Right. Whew. That's awesome.
He's still collecting checks from that.
Hell yeah. So. That's like, did you ever see the Louis C.K.? He was on the radio. I forget who it was.
That dude's funny.
I don't know if it was like Opie and Anthony or somebody. This is a few years ago. And he does this whole thing about the show Inside the Actors Studio where they got these people in the crowd, and he does this whole bit. We gotta put the video in the notes for this episode, but he does this whole thing where he's like who the fuck are these people in the crowd? Like they're ever gonna be somebody famous? Like, oh yeah, one day fucking Bradley Cooper is gonna be in this crowd asking a question about acting, and then 10 years later he's fucking famous, and they fucking dude, Bradley Cooper was in the crowd of a fucking episode of that shit. No. And so then there's a video on YouTube now where it cuts together Louis C.K. Going on this whole rant about the actor asks a question 10 years later it's fucking Bradley Cooper, and then it's fucking it really awesome, happened, dude. And then the way they tie it in at the end that they were him and Bradley Cooper were in that movie together where
they were in a movie together?
Yeah. It was where Bradley Cooper was like the FBI agent or CIA agent or whatever. It was one of those with the big cast, had a whole ton of people in it. American Hustle, was it called? Christian Bale was in it. Christian Bale was like a bad guy, I think. Like a con artist or something. But so Louis C.K., I forget exactly what happens in the movie, but at the end, Bradley Cooper comes in and starts fucking busting his balls and throws him on the couch and they're all messing with him. So on YouTube they got this whole cut scene of Louis
Into
C.K.
that?
ranting it, and then it shows Bradley
Oh,
Cooper like
that's
beating
awesome,
up on
dude.
him. Yeah, it's fucking funny.
I like Louis C.K., man.
Yeah.
He went through some shit. Huh?
He's done, man. I mean, he's
got news.
got new stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
You know, because he's Secret Life of Pets. He's in the first one, and that's my daughter loves this, right? And so they just came out with a sequel. I figured if there's a way for a dude like that to get his foot back in the door, is a cartoon would be a good one.
Sure,
you know, because his face is not involved in the movie and all that. But they replaced him with Patton Oswalt, I think. But
yeah, that was, and I heard that he couldn't, because he has a family and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I couldn't leave.
Yeah.
I had to,
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, he went through some shit.
Yeah.
But he's back at it.
Yeah.
He's a funny dude, man.
Yeah, he's real fucking funny.
Dude. He was taught the skit. He had one skit. He was talking about porn or something. And he's like, yeah, you got to have a dick in your mouth for 30 seconds. And let me back this up in honor of our buddy Tommy, because there's a run in history with the word cock.
Okay.
So he goes, you got to have a cock in your mouth for like 30 seconds. He goes, that doesn't. When somebody's like, 30 seconds, he's like, all right. And he goes and he like flips his wrist so he can see his watch.
Yeah.
And he sticks a microphone in his mouth and he's like, just all quiet, like staring at.
Yeah.
And 30 seconds seems to be, and he's like, could you do that?
That's
and
fucking
it's just
funny.
the way he did it, his delivery and all that.
Yeah.
I was talking to my dad today about George Carlin.
Oh, yeah.
Were you a George Carlin fan?
He was a little bit before my time, but I love his stuff.
Oh, my God. One thing I always say about him, he would most likely, I'm going to assume this, just bury you in an intellectual conversation.
Yeah.
I am not equipped. I would not be equipped to handle an intellectual conversation with that dude.
Yeah. I think most of the best comedians are like that.
I think you have to be.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's the whole genius, insane, kind of thin line.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just, man, he was funny, dude.
Yeah.
And he would fly home every night.
Wow.
And coach.
Wow.
He would, because he didn't want to be away from his wife.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he'd fly to a thing.
Yeah.
With 2 bodyguards, do the show, get something to eat, and fly home.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that nuts?
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that stuff back when I was growing up, I was a huge Eddie Murphy fan.
Oh my God.
Just like, and now I think back, I'm like, I got to figure out what year it was, but I was like 11 years old watching Delirious and shit. And I'm like, man,
classic, dude.
That was, I mean,
Classic.
it definitely was like before 7th grade, because by 7th grade I had it all memorized.
Yeah. He's
man,
like, all I could talk about was taking a shit, Richard Pryor jokes, because that's all I knew about. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, man.
Could you imagine that being played today?
No, he wouldn't. They couldn't. He couldn't.
No, people couldn't handle it.
No.
They'd be triggered.
Yeah.
It's not been too long since I've learned that word.
Yeah.
Because I just don't pay attention to that shit.
Yeah.
I'm like,
what's that? That's just, set somebody off with that.
What's that?
Like it just set somebody
Yeah,
off.
because talking about senior gay porn. Oh, that triggers me. Well, okay. Well, that's what we're talking about. Right.
Well, now, so what kind of situations are you hanging out where you're talking about senior gay porn all the time?
Hey, man, don't fucking judge me, dude. You just triggered it.
Sorry,
man. You just triggered me,
I didn't mean
dude.
to trigger you.
I just, the whole. I believe I have an extremely open mind. And,
Yeah.
But to talk about it in a conversational setting of my nephews told me there's 72 identified genders.
I actually didn't even know what that meant for a second when you said identified genders. I had to run my brain for what that meant. That's insane.
Is that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, I can see 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Like some kind
At
of
some
mixture.
point, you're just making shit up.
Right. Oh, no, absolutely. I totally agree with that. Well, it's like somebody said, God, I can't even fucking pronounce how they said it. And I cocked my head. And I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, it means that I wasn't allowed to identify at birth. My parents identified for me. So I'm like,
I'll tell
you
you.
popped out and
What's scarier
you had
than
an
that?
Audi, so they called you man.
What's scarier than that is that there's parents now that are not.
Oh, they don't put the gender
They don't,
like
yeah,
on the.
yeah,
I
yeah.
heard that.
I don't even know how to say it to say what they do or like they don't. They don't say if it's a boy or a girl.
They let
They like leave it blank or something.
and eventually that person will choose.
Yeah. Like, can we just like? I mean,
I can see that. I could see the like. Maybe a man, gets to a certain age and there's something that he doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And he feels good
Yeah.
putting women's clothes on. And
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right. That's that. If that makes you feel good,
Sure.
get after it.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But some of the stuff is like a lesbian man.
Right. What's that mean?
What
does that mean?
Like the old joke. I'm a lesbian trapped in a man's body. Absolutely. I love women. Dude. Get me after it. But then they explained it to me, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I can't even explain it because I can't even remember.
Right,
But
right.
I was like, "Oh, okay." But that you're stretching that a little
Yeah, there's
bit.
a stretch there.
And to get to 72, and my nephews were like rattling them off.
Right.
And eventually, I was
What's
just
their
like,
situation? Your nephews.
they're men.
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
They're like, I'm a man. dude.
Yeah. Okay.
But they're 20 years old, so they know
Sure.
all this.
Yeah.
They're
That's
up
right.
on all this.
We got to be careful because when we run for office in a few years, if this
That's
is going to
be
come
on
back,
there, right?
but
I'll be okay with that.
but there's people now that they let like 10-year-old kids look. If you're a 10-year-old kid that wants to wear a dress, cool. If that's who you are, like whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I've seen, I know people who know people. So this is not like a news story. It's like family friends situation. That like they let the kid, I don't know what the process is or whatever, but like start taking the drugs and shit, and then like gonna like cut his dick off because he's like a kid because the boy identifies or whatever as a female. Like I said, if you want to wear dresses or like if that's how you're comfortable, cool. You are not allowed to cut your dick off until you're out of my house. Like
yeah.
That's a very permanent decision.
Yeah, so at such a young age.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, like you
Holy
didn't like,
man.
and like half joke is like you didn't even use it yet.
Well, no, that's not a joke, dude.
Like you can't decide to get rid of this until you've used it.
yeah, and then be like, this is not cool.
Right.
I don't like it. Okay,
Right.
well, let's take the next step.
Right. Yeah. Or wait. Just wait. Like, cool. You can live your whole rest of the life. Let's just give it like 4 or 5 years till you go through
Puberty
and
whatever.
all that.
Wow, that's nuts, dude. Yeah, I don't know.
Because then you
That's
see the
just
stories like the stories of like the girls, the elementary school girls or boys that want, they say that they feel the opposite, so they go in the opposite bathroom, all that stuff, dress, haircuts, or whatever. And then like 2 years later, they're like, nah, actually, I'm
cool.
I'm just good. I'm a boy now, like I
how the
was.
fuck-
So it's like good thing we didn't cut your dick off.
Yeah, right. Now you got a chance to use it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, how about in athletes where they're doing I identify as a man and I identify as a woman? Check this out.
Wait, like to get in the you be in the WNBA or something, like LeBron James in the WNBA.
He's like, I identify as a woman,
nah.
right? But where it's happening is men to women. So a man identifying a woman,
Right.
like in a powerlifting. So now a man
Yeah.
goes into the women's category, crushes all the
Sets
fucking
all the records and shit.
and then he or she, whatever,
Right. Yeah.
goes back and is like, nah, I'm a man. It's like, what was the reason for
Right.
that?
Yeah.
Right. So you could quote unquote be on top for a few
Right.
minutes. Your
Yeah.
15 minutes.
That's
of fame.
that's a power trip.
Yeah.
know.
I heard that and I was like, get the.
Yeah. I gotta tell you this, Joe. You'll appreciate this. So, this new website called Cameo.
Cameo. No.
Yeah. So it's like a service where I don't know if it's blowing up or not, but at the time it was like B and C-list celebrities. You pay like $200.
Oh, they're coming.
And they do like a video. They'll send you a video. So I could be like, oh, it's Walt's birthday. I'm gonna pay $300. Michael Rappaport is gonna make me a 30-second video that says like, hey Walt, happy birthday, you fucking asshole,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
whatever. And then I send it to you and whatever.
Right,
so
right.
people get to do that. So we're at the agency and we're like, oh, influencer marketing, et cetera, looking through, see who's involved in this and whatever, just looking at the shit. And everybody, like I said, it's like I love Michael Rappaport, nothing against him, but he's not a top A-list celebrity. So it's guys like that, a lot of like B squad pro athletes. It's like
Sure.
$200, $300, $400, but whatever.
Well, it's like going to the mall and sitting there and charging $20 for an autographed ticket and get a line of people
Yeah. So it's like
trying to make money.
So it's like these people, a couple $100 here, and then it's like, oh, this person, wow, there's this person charged $700, blah, blah, blah. And we get down to Caitlyn Jenner is on there, 10 G's.
For a 30-second.
For like whatever it was. But like everybody's a couple $100. Caitlyn Jenner on there like 10 G's. And you know what I said to the crew? I said, damn, some balls on that lady, huh?
Damn, she's got balls, dude. Damn. Well, wait a minute. No. That was a whole crazy.
Yeah. Let's get off this gender topic.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
with the athletes thing, I always thought about this for a while. Like, so what happens now with this, like, with let's say you get in a car accident when you're a kid, you lose your leg.
Oh, I know where you're going.
And now you have a fucking robot leg.
Right.
That's like crazy legit.
Right.
And then you go and like you play soccer. You have a fucking robot leg.
Right.
You're killing it.
So,
Like, are you allowed to play soccer or like, like
yeah, that's an enhancement.
right.
Right. And then there's guys and ladies, I imagine, that if they lost both their legs,
That they would do that?
They would do that in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I totally agree
Yep.
with that.
Yep.
I know people would fucking line up at the door, be like,
Yeah.
give me those legs.
Right. Yeah, give me the robot legs.
So then it's like the next step up from steroids, right?
yeah.
Because can you compete at the highest level without steroids?
Right. No.
No. There's no way. Right?
Yeah.
No matter what sport.
Yeah.
Unless it's pool.
Right.
Then you're probably taking Adderall. But anyway. Yeah, but where's the line coming into that?
Right. Well, that's the shit that's going on now. I don't spend enough time like looking into it, but like there's at least there's definitely some very high end dark alleys doing this kind of shit where you get like a computer chip put in your brain, and even if that's not today, it's coming, right? And so then
on
it's
the
like,
horizon,
right? So like everybody knows everything. Right, like right now, you have to take the 5 minutes to fucking Google and find the shit. That's inconvenient. Instead, just plug the shit Matrix style into your head, And so, like again, like all right, now what are competitions going to look like when our bodies, our brains and bodies are enhanced like that? I mean, I like to watch it, but
I'll watch it all day long.
I mean, my NBA career was done when I was born. I wasn't breaking 5, 6.5, so
Phew.
But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see how that kind of stuff is going to play out.
Yeah, and I've talked on this kind of, in a way, on other episodes where humans as a species are self-destructive. Mm-hmm. You agree with that?
Yeah.
I believe because part of that is because we can manipulate our environment, like the what's that thing? The whatever will inherit the earth.
Yeah. The meek will inherit the earth or whatever.
No, because natural selection, the strong survive.
Yeah. But that's not what it is, though.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
That. Yeah. But us as humans can manipulate our environment to survive in any environment.
Right.
Like a whale can't go on the beach and hang out. Right?
Yeah.
So I believe that's part of we get to a certain point because of our DNA is built to where we need to battle, go to war, lift things, build things, explore. We don't explore anymore. We sit on the couch and watch fucking Netflix.
Yep.
So all that builds up eventually, and that's where that's my opinion.
Yeah.
It's self-destruct.
Yeah.
But going to where there's a reason I was talking about this was with athletes.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're manipulating not the environment, not our body to be enhanced to improve whatever we're going to do.
Yeah.
And how much do you think of that is going to be on the battlefield, not the court?
Right.
Right? So it's just like, that's just going to accelerate.
Yep. Killing everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird too. And like, this is a little like off topic, but thinking about the performance enhancers and like, remember like the home run like shit with Mark McGuire and all that.
Oh yeah. And what's it? Barry Bonds?
Yeah. And like at that time, steroids were super unhealthy. right? Like it was like these things are going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like it's a short-term game.
You're going to peak and then you're going to crash.
Right. Like you're fucking your shit up.
Yeah.
But in today's world, and I don't know the science behind it, but I'm pretty sure that like there's performance enhancers that are actually not really that bad for you. Or at least, and like for normal people, like now all of a sudden it's like, all right, this shit is actually like probably pretty good. We should maybe all be doing this stuff to make our bodies stronger and, more.
Yeah, but the thing though is with steroids, you can't just poke a needle in your arm and look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You still have to put
you got to do the work.
Right.
Recovery, that's the word I was looking for.
That's where, I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Right.
And all that, but recovery of, you get an injury or whatever, and they technically give you steroids.
Right.
I mean, right? We've probably all had at that some point. I watched an incredible documentary. I think it was called Bigger, Stronger, Faster.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about steroids, use of steroids, obviously in sports and powerlifting and bodybuilding and all that. But then they get into the conversation of the ethical line.
Yeah.
Like students, again, going back to Adderall.
Yeah.
It's a drug.
Right.
Right? It's an enhancement.
Yep.
And then like a fighter pilot is taking pills to enhance their...
Right.
Okay. It's okay for them.
Right.
It's okay for that student.
Yep.
But the guy on the football field?
Right.
That's wrong?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, where's the line for that?
Yeah. Well, what they used to have in baseball, like in the 80s, I think, they used to have just like bowls of something like, it was before Adderall, but it was something similar. Shit, I can't remember the name of it.
They just fucking eat it
Yeah, like candy,
shit. Well, I mean, isn't that where meth came from?
Is it?
No, meth was designed, I think, in World War I by a chemist to keep soldiers up
awake
and alert for hours and days on end.
No shit.
That's where meth, and then
went off the rails.
It went off the rails. Exactly. What the fuck did we just do here? But no, I think that's where like amphetamines. Is that the right word? Amphetamines.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it all started.
Yeah. I think that's maybe what I was thinking of.
Amphetamines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see where they would have bowls of that.
Yeah.
Kind of like in
Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. Oh shit, dude. You got to hear this. So
you got a story about that, don't you? I think you told me.
I went to his live thing. That's not what I was going to get into. I can though, because he's an amazing human being.
Yeah, I just love the pen thing.
Yeah, sell me this pen.
Sell me. Oh,
but I got to tell you, so I'll get into how amazing he is and why people need to study him.
Okay.
But a couple days ago, today's Thursday, Friday morning. It was Friday morning. I get a phone call, and I answer it, and the guy just straight up thick New York accent and I'm a huge Jordan Belfort fan, Wolf of Wall Street fan, Boiler Room fan. Like I love this stuff. Right?
Boiler Room
this
is
guy,
amazing, dude.
Dude, this guy is straight up reading, like he might as well have been reading the movie script to me.
No shit.
And I'm like, he said like two things, and I started laughing. I was like, is this a prank call? Did Nick tell you to do this?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, Todd, I can assure you this is not a prank call. What I want to do here is earn your trust, because I know if you follow what I say, you will earn money. And if you knew that you could earn money with me, would you be open to doing business together?
Oh,
I'm like, I got to humor. Like, I got to do this, right?
I got to go down the line a little bit on this.
I'm like, yeah, of course. And he goes, I'm going to give you a stock tip. And I don't ask you to judge me on my winners, but on my losers, because I have so few. Now, Todd, this up and coming cancer research firm out of the middle of America. Like, dude, I'm telling you, it was out of the fucking movie.
Cancer research out of
like
Midwest.
He goes, and he's like with, like it was ridiculous. He's like with tremendous commercial and consumer potential. Like, dude, it was nuts.
Because do you think he was like hiding under the desk?
Yeah,
fucking talking on the phone.
Yeah. And so he goes to, and he's like, I'm going to give you this stock, and I want you to follow this stock, and I'll call you back in a few months. And if this stock has outperformed the index, do you promise, Todd, that you will at least have a conversation with me and consider doing business together as your broker? And I'm like, dude, yes, please. Please call
Dude,
me back. Like
dude,
I
this
need.
is-
I'm like, can you email me after? Because I got to look this guy up. I'm like, this is a fucking joke, right? Like this is some kind of joke.
It's gonna be some boarded up. Then you got to drive to the address, and it'll be some boarded up warehouse.
It's empty. It's all empty. The phones are on the floor. And like it was a fucking penny stock. Like this dude is calling up using Wolf of Wall Street shit. Penny stock. I was like, man, I wish I had that recorded. Like it was out of the fucking movie. It was nuts.
Dude, did you think he like clicked on the phone and was like, "I gotta"?
Yeah.
What's that? And then what's a fucking
wood?
phrase that they say?
Oh shit!
And then they all race to it to get to it.
Yeah. Fuck, man! I wish I could remember what he said. Something wood. We got
Boiler Room was a fucking phenomenal
I love that.
movie.
It's so great.
So many good one-liners.
You know that's the same firm. That Boiler Room and Wolf of Wall Street, same story.
Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah.
I didn't put that together.
Yeah.
What was the name of the firm? Because I remember the line.
Well, the real firm is called Stratton Oak, I think.
Right.
The one in Boiler Room. It has a different name in the movie, but it's the same.
It was based on
Belfort's company. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Man, Leonardo DiCaprio was.
Yeah.
Oh, that dude.
He's great.
That scene where it's toward the beginning of the movie,
and
where he's walking down the stairs and he's like talking about all the drugs he does. I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, they're nuts. So, all right, let's get into Jordan Belfort because I feel this weird need to defend this guy as many times as I can because he's obviously got a bad rap.
Right.
So this movie, highly entertaining, but in real life, people look at this guy as a fucking scumbag, which he is. He was. He says the biggest misconception about him is that this happened like 5 years ago.
Right.
He's like, this happened like 35 years ago. He's like, my kids are adults now, like.
Oh, so people have they're thinking that it was like 5
right. Like they're like
5 years ago.
Right. Like they're like, this guy's such a scumbag. He just was doing these things and whatever. But like in reality, it was like 35. Like the dude, he did his time in jail. He had a whole career already. Like, it's all in the past. But now look, I think there's like anybody. Shit, we were talking about Hitler before, right? Like
right.
You can learn stuff. You can learn good things from people, even if they have bad characteristics, and that's how I take Jordan. And I went to his I went to a live workshop with him for his straight line certification
Did he
training.
sell you a pen?
And he comes out hyped up. It's 500 people or something like that in the room. And he he had like a little bit of a lisp, right? But I didn't think anything of it. I was like, man, this dude he was real fucked up for a long time. So I guess he has like a speech impediment now or something like that. And he sets up, the day, and then he says, but, first I got to tell you guys something. He goes, I'll get the days wrong and all this shit. But he's like, 2 weeks ago, I woke up and I felt like shit. And he's like, I never cancel anything. And I had to cancel 2 interviews that I had that day. And I got out of bed at like noon, and my wife looked at me and said, you look like shit. You got to go to the hospital. So we went to the hospital, and he found out that he had what is like half your body's paralyzed.
Stroke.
No, not a stroke. It's like shit. What is it called? So I can't remember, but he's got whatever it is, and so he goes to the hospital, finds out, and they're like, yeah, like you might be able to make a decent recovery in like a year. He goes, I can't wait a year. He's like, I got a thing in 2 weeks. He's like, I'm on TV every day, like I can't do,
Yeah.
So he leaves and he finds the like world's leading expert in rehabilitating this. I got to look it up. We could edit out this like to 20 seconds where I looked this shit up, but. He gets the world's leading expert in rehab for this, right? And he works 8 hours a day with this guy.
Rehab 8 hours
Yep.
a day. Okay.
Physical therapy and all that stuff, whatever, to overcome this, so he could speak normally, at least something that's like understandable. Because at the time, he couldn't open half his mouth, he couldn't talk, and he says. And then 3 days ago, I wake up and I can't talk. My throat is closed. And he had like a thrush infection or something, like some kind of virus.
Okay.
So he goes to the hospital and he gets 9 injections of steroids. Back to right, they help you recover. 9 injections in his neck so that he can clear his throat fast enough to be at this thing because he was committed to it. And that's the kind of guy he is, right? And so,
how many people would be like, nah, cancel it.
yeah,
I gotta get better.
Yeah. So Bell's palsy is what he had.
Oh, okay.
Bell's
okay.
palsy. So
I would have never would have had that.
So he had that. So this guy in 2 weeks. Now that's just enough resilience for me. Like, this guy's just a beast. Like, he's just committed to himself
if
and
that's
success.
just if he's doing that, could you imagine what he does every day?
Right.
Right.
And like the kind of relentless training that this guy goes through. So then I think he's a world-class salesman. His issue was he sold a shitty product, right? He was selling penny stocks. That sucked. He got fucked over it. Whatever. He fucked a lot of people. But if he was selling anything legit, the guy can sell, like, he can sell anyone who's sellable, period. Right.
Okay.
And I think he's one of the best in the world. So that's what I want to learn from him. But then I find out that, the movie was made based on his book. And
Wolf of Wall Street.
So there was a book first. And obviously it was like a hit book. Then they turned it into a movie. And he wrote the book because when he went to jail, Tommy Chong was his cellmate. And
I did hear about that. Yeah.
And so he's cracking this dude up all day. And Tommy Chong says, dude, you got to write a book. Like, this is your stories are insane. No, like, these are unbelievable. You got to write a book. So he said he wrote a book like 100 times. They all sucked. He couldn't do it. Then he said, all right. He looked at like who the best novelist in the world was. I want to say is Tom Wolfe. Is that I only read nonfiction, so I don't really know the fiction world. But I think it's the guy Tom Wolfe. Anybody who knows him is probably laughing at me right now because he's like the best writer in the world or whatever. But so he takes one of this guy's books and he reads it and then he writes it by hand.
Now wait a minute. The book was How to Write a Novel.
No.
Oh,
it was a novel.
Oh, okay.
So like Jordan takes a novel and then he rewrites the novel by hand, and he breaks down what does this entire book overarch look like? What is each chapter? What is each page? What is each paragraph? What is each sentence? And he fucking codifies this. And then using that, he then basically builds his book and writes his book.
Well, when you're in jail, you ain't got nothing else to do, right?
But it go like
but
this is the
amount
kind
of
of
effort and determination and all that.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Yeah, and this is the kind of this is like someone who's dedicated to modeling success. Like, all right, like I want to write a world-class book. There's world-class books out there. I'm gonna just do it.
Yeah.
And I start thinking to myself, like, if this guy before he went to college, if his dad got like fucking brain cancer or something, he would have went to college and majored in medicine, and he would have he would have been dedicated, and he would have figured out like how to cure brain cancer. That's what drove whatever. Yeah, like whatever this guy does, he's just knows how to succeed.
Now, the event that you went to where was that? In the city?
Yeah, it was at the Marriott in Times Square.
What was it like? Just a all day event?
Yeah.
Or was it multiple?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one day.
Multiple speakers, or he just
it was straight up Jordan, and that's even more. So this guy does, it was 9 to 6 or something with a lunch break.
Right.
But if you did VIP, I didn't do the VIP, but if you did VIP, you had lunch with him. And then there was another VVIP that you would have dinner with him or something after night. So not only this guy went through the Bell's palsy shit and then the thrush, and then he's speaking all day to all these people, but he didn't even get 1 minute of a break. Even the lunch break, he's still with people, and then he's doing
So it was your event that 2 weeks prior or whatever, he got sick.
Yeah.
So it's your event that he didn't cancel. The one you went to.
Yeah, the one I went to.
Oh, okay. I just put that together. Sorry. I just thought he was giving an example.
In general. No. The one I was at. Yeah. The one I was at.
Christ.
He was 2 weeks out, and it was nuts. He was high energy. And I'm really into personal and professional development stuff. I invest a lot in training courses, events like this. Yeah. And he's a world-class teacher. Again, probably because when he decided 10 years ago, I want to go out and start teaching people, he looked and said, who are the best teachers in the world? And figured out how to do it. Now, most people, you pay to go to these events, and they speak from stage all day. Or for a few hours or whatever. This guy has fucking flip charts and markers in front of a huge crowd, and he's walking in the aisles, working with everybody. What's your business? What do you sell? Here's how you do it. What's your biggest objection?
And he'd draw and
Yep, and he's drawing stuff on the white. Like, dude, it was like sitting in a classroom. Like it was real. Like The
No
guy, in every angle, other than his ethics as an early 20-year-old billionaire,
Yeah, but
is insane.
But if you judged
Right.
everybody what they did when they were 20, in
Right.
their 20s,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
What do you think, Jeff? What's his
Bezos.
name? Bezos.
Yeah. Yeah. What was he doing?
What was he doing
Right.
in his 20s?
Right.
You know, so you could. That's kind of a
Yeah.
moot point.
Right.
That they made an incredible, great movie
Right.
about his life.
Right.
Imagine living that fucking life.
No.
That's living at full throttle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
man. So did you get to meet him, talk to him, anything like that? Or?
No, I didn't get to talk to him one-on-one at all. I didn't pay the extra whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually got to go for free because as part of Propelify, that organization, we helped them promote that event. So
so
I
some
got to go
tickets were
so I got to go
given?
for free.
No shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Oh
man.
shit, dude. We've been here a while. We covered some shit.
Yeah, man.
Holy Christ. We we were all over the place.
Yeah, this was great.
Yeah. Thanks for coming down, man.
Yeah, man. I love this, man. I'm always happy to do it.
All right.
Chop
next
it
time.
up.
Yep. See you, bud. Hey, thanks for listening. And Todd's a lot of fun, right? Check out the links in the show notes to see what he's going on. Got a lot of cool stuff, interesting things going. So check him out. And have you ever gotten one of those calls like he did? I mean, right out of Boiler Room or Wolf of Wall Street. If you did, man, you got to let me know. I need to hear that story. So, again, YouTube, would love some support there. Just jump on there and subscribe, Walt's Kitchen Table. And don't forget, Live Rishi, jump on this CBD train. And again, immediate effects is a good night's sleep. Telling you, you think you sleep good now. Check this out. LiveRishi.com. Use the code word table. I'm going to show you how much love we throwing your way. Also, best way to get a hold of me is Instagram at WKT Podcast or my website, waltzkitchentable.com. And would love to have you over. Talk about, everything and anything. And yes, you have something to say. So hit me up and till next time. Much love.